Okay, we're now looking at compound interest. Previously, we've been looking at simple interest. Simple interest uses the formula I equals PRN. When we use simple interest formula, it's calculated only on, you know how we've got I equals PRN. P is the principal, R is the rate, and N is the number of periods. So when you earn simple interest, so there are two ways that we can deal with interest. You either earn interest on money that you put into the bank, all right? That's an investment. So if you put money into the bank and earn interest, that's an investment. When you earn simple interest, it's only earned on the original amount of money that you put in the bank, okay? So the interest will be the same every single year. But also, we can use the simple interest formula, I equals PRN, when we're borrowing money as well, okay? And the interest will be charged on the original amount borrowed. Now, in real life, often if you're borrowing, in real life, there are more situations where we actually use compound interest as opposed to simple interest. So if you're borrowing money from the bank for a home loan, it's compound interest, okay? If you're saving money in the bank, if you put money into the bank and that amount grows and you're earning interest, it's compound interest that you're going to earn on your money. So simple interest is a really basic type of interest. With banking, it's pretty much always compound interest, but with simple interest, that would be used on things like where you put a deposit on a big product and you're paying off the balance. Those higher purchase ones that we did last lesson, okay? So for compound interest, the interest earned after one period is added to the principal so that the next time you earn interest, the interest is calculated on a larger principal, okay? This means that you will get more interest because you're earning interest on the interest that you've already earned. So the interest earned during one time period will then earn interest in the next time period. So let's just see how this works. So example 1. $10,000 is invested at 6% per annum over 3 years, but it's compounded over 3 years. So what we're going to do, just for our original working out, I'm going to show you step by step what happens over the 3 years. But by the end of the lesson, we're going to have a formula that does this just in one step, okay? So your opening balance is $10,000. I'm only interested in the first year. How much interest do you earn in the first year? So what compound interest is a whole series of simple interests all joined together. So your interest in the first year, isn't it I equals PRN? So your principal is 10,000. What's your interest rate? Let's look up here. R is 6% per annum, which is what as a decimal? 0.06 because it's 6 over 100. And if we're talking about 1 year, what's N equal to? 1. I'm only interested in the first year. So my interest on the first year is 10,000 times 0.06 times 1. And what do we get for that? 600 or $600. So I start with $10,000. I earn $600 interest in the first year. So how much money do I have at the end of the first year? 10,600 is my closing balance. I've got 10,000 plus the interest is 10,600. Okay, so there's the end of the first year. Second year starts. My opening balance is now 10,600. Formula, interest, I equals PRN. If I put it up there, I don't have to write the formula out every time. Now, I'm only working out the interest on the second year. So, what's my new principal for year 2? 10,600. My interest rate is the same, 0.06. What do I put here? How many years? 1. I'm only working out the interest for the second year. Okay, girls, this is in year 1. I equals PRN, 6% of 10,000 times 1 year. The second year, I'm just working out how much interest I get in that second year. It's still only 1 year I'm talking about. Okay, what do we get? $636. Do you notice that I'm getting more interest in the second year than the first? So $600 interest is earned in the first year. $636 is earned in the second year. Do you know why? because it was earned on a bigger amount of money. So what's my closing balance? Isn't it 10,600 plus the 636, which is $11,236. Year 3, I start with $11,236. How much interest do I earn in that third year? I'm just doing 1 year at a time at the moment. My new principal is 11,236. I'm earning 6% per annum, and I'm just interested in that third year, which is 1 year. I'm only working out interest for each year at the moment. And what do I get here? 11,236 times 0.06 is $674. So I've got $674.16. So I add, that's my interest for the third year. So adding that onto 11,236 plus 674.16, the total amount of my investment at the end of the third year is $11,910.16. So therefore, we've started with $10,000, okay? I've just worked out interest for each year, worked out the balance at the end of the year. The difference now with compound interest is that we work out the interest on a new amount each year, okay? Interest for the second year is worked out on the higher amount. I have to do 1 year at a time, okay? Just initially with this topic. Later we'll have the formula, okay? Getting 636. Notice the interest is going up every year. $600 earned in the first year, then 636, then $674.16. That's because you're earning interest on the original money plus the extra interest that you earned. You're earning interest on your interest. And in year 3, you're earning interest on your interest on your interest. Okay? So after 3 years, your investment has grown to $11,910.16. So what is the compound interest earned? 11, 9, 10, 16 minus what? How much interest did you earn over 3 years? Minus 10,000, which is $1,910.16. Okay? So now, one way of doing this. Another way I can do the question is I start with $10,000. Okay, so method 2. Method 1 of working out how much interest that the person earned is using a table. Method 2 is using repeated multiplication, using percentages. So if you borrow $10,000, if you invest $10,000 at 6% per annum, compounded. So when it says compounded, it means you're earning interest on your interest. Compounded over 3 years, what is the compound interest earned? If we do it by repeated multiplication, we know that the investment grows by 6% each year. If you're earning 6% interest, your investment grows by 6% each year. So what's 100% plus 6% is 106%. So after the first year, you will have 106% of the original amount. So what you can do is just multiply the original amount by 106%, or what's 106% as a decimal? Yes, it's 1.06. Now, if you've multiplied the original amount by 1.06, you've got the new amount. Well, we're going to earn 6% interest on the second year as well. So that new amount grows by 6%. So you multiply by 1.06 again. And the same applies for the third year. You multiply by 1.06 again. Now, we know that we have to get the answer of $11,910.16, don't we? Let's see if we do get that answer. So the amount after 3 years, it's 10,000 times 1.06 times 1.06 times 1.06. In other words, the investment's growing by 6% each year because you're multiplying it by 106%. What do you get for that, girls? The same. $11,910.16. So therefore, the compound interest earned is that final amount minus your starting amount, which is $1,910.16. Now, example 2, we're doing this all over again, another example. So $5,000 is invested at 4.7% per annum interest, compounded over 3 years again. Calculate the compound interest earned. Let's start. So year 1, the opening balance is 5,000. To work out interest, it's I equals PRN. So our interest for the first year is our principal times our rate. Now 4.7% per annum, isn't that 4.7 over 100? Be careful, which is what? What is it? 0.047. Please don't put 0.47. That's just under 50%. So times 0.047 times 1 year. I'm only interested in the interest for the first year. What do I get? So the interest earned for the first year is $235. What's my closing balance? 5235. We know how I worked that out. It was my opening balance plus my interest. Year 2, what's my opening balance? See, if at the end of the first year you've got $5,235, then at the beginning of the second year, you've got $5,235. Work out the new interest, which is your principal, 5235, times 0.047, times 1, because we're interested just in that second year, how much interest we're earning. Notice it's more than 235, so we get $246.045. Answer here is 246.045. I don't want to round this off, okay? Even though I know in a bank they would. So what have we got? 5235 plus 246.045. What do we get? 5481.045. I just want to keep it like that. The only reason I'm keeping it like that is I need to do the third year. If it was only 2 years and I was finished, I would round. Do you get what I'm saying? But I still need to do year 3. So 5481.045. The interest is that times 0.047 times 1 year. And I get, obviously, it must be about could be about 250 something, 257, 258. Etc. That'll do. So what's my closing balance? And now I'll round it off to 2 decimal places, all right? So 5481.045 plus 257.6091, that'll do. What do you get? Is it 0.6 what? 657. 654, okay. Get 5,738.65411. That would round to 65. I'm finished now. I'm going to round it to do decimal places. All right? I didn't want to round it here because I need to use that answer in another calculation. Okay, so therefore the compound interest earned is 5,738.65 minus the $5,000, which is 738.65. How else could I work out the compound interest earned? Couldn't I just add up these 3 amounts? It's 235 plus 246. The other way you could work out the compound interest earned is to add these 3 asterisk amounts. Okay? So you could either do the final amount minus your opening balance, or you could actually add up the 3 interest amounts to work out your compound interest earned. Does that make sense? Interest plus interest plus interest, that's how much interest was earned, or it's the closing balance minus the original balance. Okay? Now, we could also do this question using repeated multiplication. So using repeated multiplication, we're starting with $5,000. If I want to increase by 4.7%, over here I say 100% plus 4.7% is 104.7%, which is what as a decimal? What is 104.7%? 7. So when you increase by a percentage, I don't want you multiplying by 4.7% and adding it on to the original amount. It takes too long. If you're increasing something by 4.7%, you start with 100%, you increase by 4.7%, you'll now have 104.7%. So to do this question, instead of using this table, we can just say I start with 5,000, I'm increasing by 4.7%, so times 1.047. That's the first year. I do it again for the second year, times 1.047 times 1.047. Okay? And what do you get if you do that? 5,000 times 1.047 times 1.047 times 1.047. So doing that on the calculator, we get $5,738.65, rounded to 2 decimal places because we're dealing with money. Okay, we're now going to compare simple interest and compound interest. So we can do the same examples, but using simple interest instead of compound interest. Example 1. Calculate the interest earned if $10,000 is invested at 6% per annum interest over 3 years. How do we know that this is a simple interest formula? Because it doesn't say compounding. If it doesn't say compounding, it's simple interest, okay? What is the total value of the investment after 3 years? So this is simple interest. I equals PRN. What's the principal? Principal? What's the rate? What's the rate? 6% per annum. What's that? 0.06. What's the time? N. N is 3. So notice that the simple interest formula only gives you the interest. When we're doing that compound interest one, it gives us the final value of the investment. So they're different. The simple interest formula is I equals PRN. It gives you the interest. So what do you think we get here? If you do 10,000 times 0.06, you get 600. And you earn $600 interest every year. So 600 times 3, 1,800. Now, if we go back to the first example we did on the page before, we can compare how much extra interest is earned when the interest is compounded compared to when it's just simple interest. So if I go back to the first page here, my first example, and I look down here, the compound interest earned for this first example of $10,000 was $1,910.16. So the extra interest earned is $1,910.16 minus $1,800, which is $110.16. So $110.16 extra interest earned by compounding. Sorry, just missed a bit here. The total value of the investment after 3 years is 10,000 plus, what is it? 12? No, the total value of the investment here is 10,000 plus 1,800, which is $11,800. So the question was, how much extra interest was earned? I could either do the interest from the compounding one minus the interest from this one, showing that I've earned an extra $110 interest, or I could do the final amount of the other investment, which is 11,910.16, minus the final amount of this investment. Do you get what I'm doing? Which is also $110.16. Okay? But girls, I prefer to do the other interest, compare the two interests, instead of doing it this second method. Okay? I don't like doing it this second way, but you could also do it that second way, where you do the final value of the first investment with compounding interest minus the final value of the second investment. That difference is also $110.16. What I like to do is do the interest for the first one and compare it to the interest for this one. compare example 2. If we're now doing example 2 again with simple interest as opposed to compound interest. So if we invest $5,000 for 4.7% per annum interest over 3 years, if it does not say compounding, it's simple interest, okay? So simple interest formula, I equals PRN. The principal is 5,000. What's the rate? What's the interest rate? P is 5,000. R is 4.7% per annum, which is 0.047. What's N? 3 years. Now I've got no room. Times 0.047 times 3, what do you get? $705 and exactly? So if example 2 was simple interest only, you would earn $705 interest. Now, go back, let's work out the total value of the investment. It's $5,000 plus $705, which is $5,705. So let's look at it when it was done with compound interest. So I'm comparing this underlined amount here with this amount here, the final amount, 5,738.65. Or I could compare the two interests. The interest for simple interest was 705. The interest for compound interest was 738. You can either compare the final amounts, the total values, or the interest values only. So therefore, how much extra interest, you can do it two ways. I can do it like this, 738.65 minus $705, or I could do it by comparing the final values as well, 5,738.65 minus 5,705. Okay? And our answer, what do we get? $33.65. Okay, so when you are investing money using compound interest, you will always earn more interest than if you invested it using simple interest. Why? Because you earn interest on your interest. Okay? All right, that's the end of pages 1 and 2.